Real estate agents, valuers. Is there a difference? What's the difference? Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Good morning, guys. Friday, we are here again. I keep saying to Mark, those weeks are going really fast. And you know how your parents and your grandparents, they used to say, time goes by faster as you get older. It does. It literally goes in fast forward. It seems to be Friday in the absolute blink of an eyelid. So here we are every Friday morning. Mark and I sit and have our coffee at about 6:30, 6:45 a.m. And it's a very romantic conversation about what we're going to talk about on Friday Frenzy. that's what it's about. So this morning we're going to talk about it's actually a conversation I reckon I have about 10 times a day, Mark, about our opinions of value on properties. And actually I reached out to a really great property valuer. We're going to get her on very, very, very soon. Not today, unfortunately, but just to get an actual valuer's take on this. What's the difference between a valuer and a real estate agent?
They call us for prices and we don't call them for prices.
I had one call yesterday, actually.
They always call us for prices.
I had a valuer call me yesterday, literally about
they always call us
the
for our opinion, but we never
$21.5 million
call them for their opinion. And we do it for free for them. So they call us and we talk to them for free all the time.
That's all right, though. That's all right.
I do like valuers.
I do too. I like valuers. They're an interesting bunch.
In commercial, I guess fundamentally, to start from the top, these guys have gone through a university degree on valuation on property. Highly skilled, highly trained.
Yeah.
They're trusted to be independent by banks, by lawyers, and they've got a really good reputation. So generally, the good experience I've had with valuers is good valuations, and the bad experience is bad valuations. So sometimes they aren't always telling you what you want to hear with your property.
Yeah, and
they're finite.
Luke's raised quite an interesting comment there. Valuers think about the past. That's interesting. But I just want to read out to you what I found here on Google. Property valuers provide valuations, while real estate agents provide a range of services related to buying, selling, or renting a property. Property valuers typically charge a fee for their services, while real estate agents work on a commission basis. Now, when we're putting together an appraisal, which we do continuously, I did 75 of them last month, we're looking
at...
That's a lot. Yeah, that is a lot. We're looking at, so obviously we're drawing on our expertise as real estate agents, and we give what we call an estimated selling fee, which is our opinion of value on a property. Now, we're allowed to use a 10% variance on that opinion of value, or that estimated selling fee. So, for instance, $1 to $1.1 million, we can give that 10% variance. And where do we draw that? Where do we draw that from? Again, we draw it from our expertise, and we draw that from recent comparable sales that have taken place. When we're providing a seller with our estimated selling fee, our opinion of value, we've got to give at least 3 comparable sales, and they've got to be recent comparables to that property, which can be difficult sometimes. And what I find, Mark, is when I'm giving my clients an opinion of value on their property, a lot of vendors often will say, but I thought my property was worth so much more. Now, understand, guys, we are not valuers. Our job is to not just give you a figure and walk away. Our job is to give you an opinion of value on your property and then obtain the most amount of money for you out of the marketplace. We are not valuers. We are real estate agents.
It's really well said, Lee.
Yeah. Okay, over to you. I need to get some air.
Over to me what?
Well, over to you. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, Lisa said I had to be nice to her today just before we went live.
Oh, because every time we do Friday Frenzy, and listen, guys, Mark's we have a wonderful relationship, but every time we go on here, Mark's always like really like just loves to just have a go, and I'm like, no, not today, don't do that.
Bit of banter.
Did you watch my troll? Did you watch my trolls thing yesterday?
No, half of it.
Half of
Half
it.
of it,
We
yep.
might talk about that at the end of this.
So Luke's asked why valuers call real estate agents. Very, very common. We'd get more than 2 or 3 calls a day from valuers, and they need to know sales prices because often prices are disguised, and particularly with rentals if they're doing rental prices.
Does my head in. Can we talk about that in a sec as well?
Yeah, particularly if they're doing rental prices for commercial leases, they're really well disguised. You don't really get the data anywhere. So they are always, calling real estate agents, asking their opinion on the job they're doing. What annoys? What'd you say is annoying?
Oh, when sold prices are withheld. So we'll talk about that in just a sec. But why do valuers call real estate agents? And obviously, like we tried to get a valuer on here this morning, and I would love to get the feedback from a valuer on this. But sometimes a valuer is being called over to the Northern Beaches, but they're not from the Northern Beaches. So I had a valuer come through a property that I sold in Manly, as many of you guys will know, $21.5 million. Now, it was hard 9 months ago to be able to, there's been some sales in the area since then, not surprised about that. But, at the time, it was really hard to get that valued up because what comparables are they drawing on? Like
a valuer's got a really hard job.
And the guy was coming from out of area, Mark.
Yeah.
The guy, and again, I had a valuer call me yesterday about a similar property, and he was like, "I know that you transact a lot in the area. What are your thoughts on?" And that's fine to get our opinions because we do know that area really, really well.
Yep.
Sometimes these valuers are coming from different areas.
Yep. I like the commercial valuers because what we often do with commercial valuers, I'll say, "Can you share your information with us?" So often they'll say if we're valuing a boarding house, it's an 18-room boarding house. He's valuing it. He calls up and says, "Mate, I'm just, I'm trying to," say the valuer's valuing it, "I'm trying to value the boarding house." And he knows that we've sold a couple.
This mailbox is full. Please try again later. If you are the subscriber,
Who did you have on the phone?
to log in.
We'll share that information that we've got, and then I'll ask for reciprocal information to be shared back with us. I love when valuers do that. And then so we actually are a sharing community of information on boarding houses. So I become skilled up, he becomes skilled up to get his job done. That works really well, but so it doesn't work that way in residential.
Not only that, but guys, understand that valuers work on data, and data can be slow. So if we look at what's going on at the moment with the market, if you don't have your finger on the pulse there with what is going on in the market, in a market that you're working in, it can be really hard because if you're just drawing on realestate.com and Domain where there are not a lot of sold prices on there, and then you're looking at RP data, which again can be slow. FYI, I found out the other day because we've had a few little issues which we're working through at the moment with CoreLogic RP data, and they were telling me, I don't know whether this is right or wrong, it doesn't sound right to me, that they draw their data off Domain. And I'm like, well, that's good and well, but what if the property didn't go to Domain? So the data is going to be very inaccurate. So you've got to put a big question mark around, is the data that the valuer is drawing on I'm not saying it is or it isn't, guys. As I said, we tried to get a valuer on here this morning very last minute. But is that data accurate? Because the market has been like a heartbeat. It's been up, down and all over the shop. And if you're not drawing on, the last sort of 4 to 6 weeks of recent sales in the area, I think the data can be just a little bit skewed at the moment.
And I don't want to get caught up too much on that. I think I really wanted to talk about just the difference. And the difference. So when you're a member of the community on the Northern Beaches, and you're like valuation. I guess that the agents can be great for giving you a line in the sand of where the market should be.
Mm-hmm.
A bank valuer is going to be great to interfacing with your bank. The bank will call the bank valuer out, you won't, and they'll say, let's do the valuation for them. They're an independent valuer, but I do think they have a really hard time because there's times in the market where it's a correcting market, whereas they are legally responsible if they put the wrong price on the property. An agent's not, and that's the fundamental difference. Our skills to obtain the best price, the best offers from the best buyers, their skills is to give a number.
And then equally, can I just mention another point just on a side note? Often most sellers will get the opinions of 3 real estate agents on average. That's what I find. Now, if I'm coming in and my opinion of value on a property is $1 to $1.1 million, and I've used recent sales, that usually at the moment, guys, I'm using recent sales within the last about 4 weeks. Depends on the property, and I want to address that in a second for these very, very rundown properties. And then if another real estate agent comes in and they're sitting at 1.2 to 1.3 for the similar property, you've got to make sure that they're using relevant data. And because if all of us agents are using the same data, then you've got to ask, why is there a significant difference in price between 3 different real estate agents? You should hope that those opinions of values are very, very similar. But again, I just want to draw on the fact that real estate agents are there not as property valuers, but to give you an opinion of value on your property based on recent sales in the area, if that is feasible, and their market knowledge. But our job is to get you the most amount of money out of the market, and a great agent will guide you through what that process looks like.
Rentals, sales.
Absolutely.
And valuers can do valuations on rental prices for commercial and rental prices for residential. So they can do rental prices.
Now, there's something else I want to throw into the mix, and that is buyer feedback. This is a really, really important part of what a real estate agent does. Really important part. So I've got 2 properties that are on the market. One just launched and one is about to launch. You guys will have seen it on my social media. It's that beautiful. It's one of the most amazing houses I've seen. It's on Curl Curl beachfront. It's about to launch out to a full marketing campaign next week. You look at a property like that, Mark, and it's really hard to put an opinion of value on it because nothing else like that has sold in the area. And I've had this issue a number of times where you're looking at a property, and it could be an old dilapidated house as well, or it could be a beautiful property like this one that I'm referring to, and you're trying to draw on recent sales in the area, and guess what? There aren't any.
No.
There are no recent comparable sales of a property like that that is sold. And I'm talking about dilapidated, and I'm talking about these, just very, what I call unicorn properties. So what do? We draw on market feedback. So we ask the buyers. So every buyer that walks through that property, I ask them, where do you see value in this property?
And the reality is that if you got 3 evaluations on this amazing home, with no comparisons, and you sell this property at auction, I think there's going to be a percentage difference on the 3 valuations and what it sells for. So the people will go out on a limb at an auction. They got the money, they just want it. But I think you'll find it will always be more of a conservative price for obvious reasons.
Now, the other thing that I want to mention...
Don't be angry at the valuers.
And don't be angry at the agent either, guys. How many times has it happened, and it's happened with me, where I have put an opinion of value on a property and I've put a guide on a property, and then we've taken it out to auction and we've had a number of bidders, and that property, I mean, how many times do you hear it? It's, and a property sold for $500,000 above reserve, $1 million, $2 million above reserve. Understand, an agent cannot control what the buyers will do. An agent cannot control that. So our opinion of value is our opinion of value based on the reasons that I've just stated.
Yeah.
But when you throw a property out to auction, you could have 10, 20 registered bidders on that property, and that could easily go well above reserve price. We cannot control the market conditions. We can't. At the moment, we've got not a lot of stock and we've got a lot of buyers. We can't control market conditions.
On that valuation thing, and this is a really sensitive topic, not. It was very contentious with a similar topic. I was hosting a similar topic a year or two ago, but a valuer will historically go low because it's in their overall interest to be conservative because they can be sued. Now, I don't like that, and I do have to say, agents, I also don't like this, can sometimes historically go high because they're not.
Yeah.
Right? So just as much as people have a go at valuers for being a bit low and conservative, you can have a go at real estate agents for being too optimistic and it doesn't sell for that price. It's both.
Yeah.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah, but can I tell you, Mark, on the flip side, I've had vendors where I've come in with my opinion of value and they've served something up to me and gone, oh, we just had a valuation done, and here it is. And it was, it came in at $10 million, and I've come in with my opinion of value based on recent sales, based on my market knowledge, and it was different. We were a mill out.
What is your opinion on the estimators? You know how like realestate.com, RP Data, there's a
Oh my God,
a whole bunch of software out there for consumers.
I
on
literally
those estimators.
I literally wrote a note in my book yesterday because I wanted to do a whole video on this.
I nailed a good one.
This is a good one. This is a really interesting one.
You're really excited, Lee?
No, because I had a conversation with someone the other day and they said to me, I put into realestate.com my address and I got a valuation done on my property.
Loose.
And it was really good. I'm thinking about, putting the property on the market. And I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting. What did it come in at? And it was so skewed.
They have like 300.
Positively skewed. I was like.
The ranges are huge.
Now, guys.
But how do you estimate like by a computer? It's hard.
Let me ask you this question, and I want you guys to come at me with the answer. What do realestate.com and Domain do? What's their job?
Selling advertisements for sale properties.
Okay, can you say it again, Mark?
Selling advertisements for sale properties.
So if you've got a valuation that has come through one of those channels, do you think if it's made to look a little bit better, I'm not stating facts, I'm asking you a question, do you think if it's made to look a little bit better, you might put your property on the market and advertise on those portals?
Appeal, Your Honour, appeal, suggestive question.
What? What's that?
You just framed
I'm
up
asking.
the question
What do
to
you
be
think?
answered the way you want it,
No.
which is suggestive to.
Okay, well, you tell me what your thoughts are.
Yeah, right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
If it looks juicy, do you think you might advertise the property on realestate.com and Domain? Guys, if you want to get an opinion of value on your property, ask your real estate agent.
Hey, get this. This gets even better. With valuations, banks will actually not accept a human valuation now. So what you just said about, software, I guess it's even AI now, estimating the value of your property. Now, if you're one of the big four banks, you can order a desktop valuation, and then this gets even better. The consumer, the person that's getting the mortgage, can choose whether they want to opt for the desktop valuation that was given figure to get finance on, or opt to get a human through, a valuer with a valuation through. So that's how I find that incredible. It actually puts valuers out of a job, but I think them basing the entire loan on what a computer is estimated to what the property is worth, and then you get to choose.
Yeah.
So in my life, there's been circumstances where it's like, not really happy with that computer valuation, get out a valuer, and the valuer's significantly more in price. On the other hand, I've seen the valuation done on a computer. I'm like, shit, that's high. I'll take that. Valuer will never value it at that.
Yeah.
So that's also a changing world with valuations. that whole computer stuff.
Now, understand as well, when you're putting into something like maybe CoreLogic, RP Data, or one of those real estate portals, and you're trying to get a valuation done on your property, just some sort of an understanding as to where your property sits. Sometimes these data sources can't see things that a real estate agent can. So they
Yeah,
can't see
well
things
said.
like square meterage.
Strata levies.
They can't see things like strata and what's going on inside a
Yeah.
building if it's got concrete cancer. I'm talking about these just very generic data sources. And RP data are great, but you know they can't see inside the
Everyone's doing the best they can. The
Absolutely.
valuers are doing the
And
best
it's
they
better
can.
listen, it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
It's better than nothing at
Yeah.
all. But it also can't see if a block is maybe a battle axe, you know, things that could potentially impact the valuation of a property. Does the whole roof need replacing? It can't see
Is there
that
potential
kind
for
of stuff.
subdivision?
Correct.
You know, that sort of stuff. So
Yeah.
you know the human touch is still superior, but the valuers are the computers doing a great job at estimating. The valuers are out there having a go. What
But
else we got
guys,
to talk about? We've got to go,
I know,
Lise.
just to wrap up on that topic though, understand that we are not bank valuers. We are real estate agents. Our job is to give you our opinion of value based on our market knowledge, based on comparable sales. At the end of the day, the buyers are the judges, and our job is to get you the most amount of money for your property.
That's a show.
That's a great topic, that one.
That's a show,
Great
but
topic.
that's not going to be long enough for you.
I could talk all day.
Do you want to go anything else?
I
before
want
we
to
go?
finish off. Can we finish off talking about trolls? Have we got a?
Lisa
have we
got
a-
trolled this week.
Yeah, look, it wasn't trolled. It was more bullied. But anyway, look, I'm way past that.
But you just like the topic.
No, you know what? I think I'm one of the first people in the industry to actually shine the light on talking about this, because lots of people go, I'll just ignore them and move on. But no, I think it's time that, you know, something was done about it. And yesterday I pulled together Tom Panos, who everyone knows, Lisa Jemison, who everyone knows, one of the best litigators in the country. And we had a good conversation about it, Mark. There's pretty serious consequences around it now. So guys, all I want to say is, you know, it's not funny. Have a good hard think about what you're going to say before you say stuff.
Mental health is a
on
big
social
thing.
media.
Mental health is a big thing.
I had a lot of people reach out to
Yeah.
me. That was the part. The part that wasn't disturbing at all was all the rubbish that went on my LinkedIn profile. The part that was disturbing to me was the people that reached out to me, and how heavily it's impacted their lives. Horrendous. And that's why I banded together those phenomenal people, just to try and give a little bit of help and insight to some people out there that are really suffering.
Good
as a
on you
result
for
of
that.
it.
That's good.
Yeah, that's it.
That's a week. Have fun on the hunt at the Katoomba.
Thank you.
Lisa's taking the kids to Katoomba, which aren't really kids anymore. What are they?
For the day.
They're young adults.
I know.
Yeah.
It's fun when your kids want to
17
hang out
and
with
25.
you. It's fun when they want to hang out with you. All right, that's it, guys.
Have a good one, everyone. Have a lovely week. Weather's beautiful, and
Loving
real
it.
estate's a balanced market at the moment.
It is.
Love you.
See
See
ya.
you. Bye.